Hey world, what's going on? How y'all feeling? I just wrapped up out here in beautiful Sunrise, Florida. I don't know if y'all can see, but the sky is blue. It's a beautiful day. But despite that, I'm gonna open up about something that's maybe a little bit gray. One of those topics that people don't really like to talk about. Or at least I know I did. For a very, very long time, actually, I didn't want to communicate about this until just very recently. Very, very recently. And even though it's beautiful outside, I'm feeling depressed, y'all. Depressed. Yes. But not in that just, I'm sad kind of way, like for real. And I guess I wanted to talk to y'all. I want to put my truth out there. As always, maybe it can help somebody to become a better version of themselves. Perhaps you have something that you could talk to me about that I haven't thought about that could possibly help me. So here we go. So depression, anxiety, it's a real thing. And since I was a younger child, not that my family was just, like a wild and crazy Lifetime type of movie, but there was a lot of emotional problems and healing that needed to take place, and it was kind of tough growing up. I think my folks, they did the best that they could do with what they had and what they knew, and this is not their fault at all, but I'm gonna just say it was kind of tough. Like a lot of us had upbringings that was kind of tough, and I don't think we really realize how it affects us until maybe later on. Now, especially in my case, because I've tried to cope with and deal with my depression in the past. I guess I'm still kind of nervous about opening up about this sort of thing because there's a lot of judgment that kind of, could kind of be placed upon you, whether it's your close friends, your family, even your job, your workmates. This is like not the sort of thing that people really want to, be upfront, be honest about, and kind of come to terms with because of fear of some of that judgment and some of, that ridicule or people not really understanding or blaming you or feeling like it's your fault. Or just not wanting to communicate or have any type of relationship with you at all because it's something that you're dealing with, it's something that you're coping with. So, if you guys hear any retreat in my voice, it's because of that reason. It's just still a little bit difficult. But I guess I've reached a point now where the depression and the anxiety that I deal with, it's affecting the relationships that I have with people that I care about, people that need me. And I have to do better. I have to get healthy. I have to change. Number one for myself, but definitely these people that I really love and care about, they deserve the best version of myself that I can bring forth. And it's a shame that this one particular thing in my life, I feel like it's still holding me back from reaching the pinnacle of what I want to do and who I want to be and how I want to do it. So I guess I will just kind of jump right into it. from an early age. You know, I went to doctors, psychiatrists, psychologists. Um, had a great interest in that field. I always have, and have faith in the field until I actually was the guinea pig. And then I realized why they call a lot of medicine a practice. And that goes with medical doctors as well, but definitely in the psychological field. The brain is so amazing. We don't completely understand the reasons and the ways. And basically what they try to do is diagnose you based upon a conversation with you. It's like a personality test almost. Of course, it's a lot more in depth than that, and I give the people in this people in this field, credit for, you know, being masters and practitioners of their field and being dedicated to really trying to help people. But I'm just gonna say that it didn't work for me. You know, a lot of times you don't always completely be upfront and give the honest answers and feedback that they need to possibly help you. And then a lot of times it's just trial and error as well, even if you are completely open and honest. And the other problem is that when you deal with depression, it almost can seem like you're different people have different types of feelings at different times in your life. So when you're not depressed, you may feel one way and be eager and happy and open, and then when you are, you know, you just may feel real saddened and low, despite some of the good things and the blessings that are happening in your life. And so in my case, it almost made it worse, because now I had the diagnosis hanging over my head of, you know, you have this particular thing. And I ran away from it. I tried not to accept it because I didn't want to give it any power for a very long time. For a small time, because I'm not that sort of a person. I kind of use it as a crutch, you know, use it as an excuse to do things the way that I wanted to do things and not have to worry about the consequences, because I said, oh, I have anxiety or I'm depressed. And neither one of those things worked out. And over the years, I would progress. I would have success in a certain area of my life because I'm a hard worker and I'm dedicated to getting a result. But then I would look back and realize how much the depression really affected me, and that I probably could have achieved whatever I was working to do 10 times easier, sometimes 20, you know, if I was not coping with this. So that's the reason why I've kind of been committed, dedicated to getting healthy for real this time. And I feel like I know it's gonna be trial and error, but I'm gonna do whatever it takes. So let's talk a little bit about how it affects relationships, right? So, this is a tough one, you know, because even your closest family members, friends, people that you know, they love you, they care about you. You know, this is just my personal experience with it. They may know, and this doesn't just go for depression, this goes for any mental health issue, you know. And I'm not a doctor here, I'm not talking about cures, I'm just talking about my personal experience with this. And maybe somebody else can identify. And maybe it can help caretakers or people that have to deal with people that have mental health issues. They may know that you do have a particular problem or a particular mental health, depression, anxiety, whatever it is that you're dealing with. But that doesn't change the fact that they're people too. You know, they're people, right? They have emotions, they have feelings, and the things that you may do or the ways that you may respond, it affects them, you know. And that's something I feel that the ones with the ailments, we have to keep in mind. You know, we have to be extra sensitive and respectful of the people in our lives and show them extra love, because we know that it can be difficult to deal with us, you know, and difficult to deal with a sickness, you know. So give them a break, you know, and vice versa, you know. I think just having empathy, having sympathy, you know, not in a way where it's just like, oh, I feel so bad for you every single day, and oh, no, that's not gonna help anybody. Or not letting people just run amok, and you know, you don't have a real relationship with them where you can check them if they're doing something wrong or inappropriate, because that's just enabling. But just like thinking it through, right? Understanding that people with psychological problems, that kind of like also shifts into emotional problems. So they may not really be able to express themselves in appropriate ways. And sometimes they don't respond normally to situations. You know, it might be something that wouldn't bother anybody, but it might bother them. Or it might be something that bothers everybody. But when you're in depression, it's like, it's not a big deal for you. Like, almost like you just don't care, you know. So it has been a challenge, you know, and I have given up on several relationships that I've had with individuals, because I just didn't want to put them through it anymore. I didn't want to hurt them. You know, it's tough. It's really tough. But you know, I have children. I have young daughters who need my love and support, and a beautiful wife. And I have to get better, you know, for them. So, like I said, I'm again committed to doing the best that I can. Another thing on the relationship side of things is it kind of stops you, even when you, are in a good mood, from really forging close personal relationships with people. You know, it's kind of like the weekend. You know, I don't have no business being in love type of thing. You know, this love thing ain't for me sort of thing. Because you want to be able to reciprocate. You want to be able to give somebody what you know that they're willing to give you, and what you really do want to give. But sometimes the fear coupled with the anxiety of knowing that you are going to go through periods of depression, or you might not want to open up to somebody about that right away. You don't want to hurt them. You don't want to bring them into your world and then let them down. So, you know, it's just a whole kind of like mixed bag of different types of feelings and emotions that people go through that have this sort of problem. And what I notice is it's a cycle, right? Because it's like, whatever it is, if it's a chemical imbalance or a trigger that you have, you know, it releases hormones. It triggers something in your body to make your feelings start being negative, right? But then as your feelings start to be negative, they trigger hormones in your body that make your thoughts give reasons and credence to your feelings, even if it's not necessarily real or true. And this happens to all of us, but I just feel the cycle is a lot deeper with people that cope with depression. I'll give you an example. Maybe you come home and, you know, your wife, let's just say, doesn't have dinner prepared, you know. Now, a normal person would be okay with that, even if it was her routine, and say, hey, is everything okay? You know, what's going on? But sometimes the depression that you go through and the way, the lens that the imbalance makes you wear is just everything becomes a big deal, becomes just negative. So you might just be so sad and so distraught about it that those feelings then start creating thoughts like, maybe she don't love me, maybe she don't care, I don't know why she wouldn't want to make me dinner. And now those thoughts start adding to more compounding feelings. So you went from frustration and now you're going to anger and sadness. And now those additional thoughts go to those additional feelings convert to other thoughts. And now it's like, how long has it been this way? I remember she didn't make dinner 3 weeks ago, and yada yada yada, and maybe that's really a sign. And then it just keeps compounding and compounding and compounding and compounding, and it's so hard to get out of that vicious cycle. And I'm sure that's with all of us, but especially, like I said, with people that deal with some sort of mental health problem, whether it's anxiety or depression or bipolar, or some of the deeper ones, the psychosis or schizophrenic. These loops kind of get ingrained, and it's hard for us to just take the loop lens off and just deal with reality, because we get so invested and so addicted to the loop, if that makes any sense. Or at least that's been my experience with it. So I've tried everything in the past and I'm not recommending any of these things, like I said, from talking, psychology, therapy, group therapy, even to some medications years and years ago that I took, from real lightweight drugs, to some of the tougher, more serious types of prescription medications. And I had terrible side effects with it. And what helps me and what has helped me the most is meditation. It's prayer, it's meditation. It's just sitting my mind still, being conscious of my thoughts and my feelings, and trying to create a more positive atmosphere for myself inside of my mind. And it takes discipline, and it's very hard to do. And like I said, some days like today, I still just feel groggy. You can train your mind all you want, but sometimes your energy is low. Sometimes you just feel groggy. Sometimes you just feel sad. And those are the last few things that I'm trying to work on to overcome this. That was a line by J. Cole in one of his songs. He go like, "You're not crazy, you're just ready to change." And I think that has a lot of truth to it as well. It's like sometimes right when we're on the brink of a transition, our mind detaching from the loop of consciousness that we're used to and going to a higher level. It's a lot of weird stuff happening in that transition. And sometimes that can cause depression, And with me, I know that definitely has happened many times before. It's like right when you're on the brink of a transition, it's like just a collapse mentally, because your mind doesn't want to let go of the programming. And since I force my mind, I force it to let go, I know that is another reason why I constantly have to cope with certain types of depression in my life, because I'm on the path up. I'm all the way up. I'm going there. You know what I'm saying? There's a light. And I don't plan to stay in darkness forever, So if y'all got any comments, any, ideas, like I said, this is very difficult. We're probably at a later date, I'll even open up a little bit more about certain things. Still kind of guarded in regards to it, because it's humiliating. It really is. It's embarrassing, It's like you walk around with a mask on your entire life, because like who you really are is just too difficult to live life that way. So trying to change the person underneath the mask before you take it off. And And I just think I finally got to the part in my life where I just can't walk around with the mask on no more, you know. So this is the real me, you know, and I'm not gonna get any better trying to pretend like it's something that it's not. So hey, to anybody that I heard that was confused, I sincerely apologize. You know what I mean? I hope that I didn't do any damage to you that was irreparable. And to anybody that you feel like you could vibe with this, or just my story of courage of coming out and speaking about it has inspired you to help somebody or be helped, that's what it's all about. Right away, baby. Peace and love.